To allow digital video to be processed and transmitted as efficiently as possible, we need to manage the amount of data we're transmitting or storing. To achieve this, we use compression. To get video pictures from one location to another, we need to send the pictures through a transmission path, such as a coaxial cable or a wireless radio link. Each part of this path has a limited bandwidth, which means that only a certain amount of information can be sent down it at any one time. The quality of the video pictures we send and receive is often constrained by the bandwidth of the transmission path. If the bandwidth is high, we can transmit pictures in real time without impairment. But if the bandwidth is reduced, in order to display acceptable imagery, we may need to remove some detail through compression, and so degrade the picture in some way. The amount of compression we apply to the images also affects our storage requirement. If our operational requirement stipulates that high quality pictures must be stored for long periods of time, say 31 days, then a large amount of storage is necessary. We can manage our storage requirement more efficiently by using compression. The amount of compression that we need depends to a large extent on the nature of the scene. For a scene with very little motion, a high level of compression may be quite acceptable. But for a busy scene where there's lots of movement and important detail, we need to ensure that the level of compression does not make the picture unusable through the introduction of artifacts. Artifacts is the term we give to a variety of undesirable visual elements that can appear when an image is compressed. One type that is commonly seen is contouring. This means that an area where there should be a gradual change of colour appears broken up into distinct bands. On areas where the compression process discards detail, we often see what's known as blocking. It's particularly noticeable on contour boundaries and areas with fine detail. Closely related to this is mosquito noise, which is often seen in the form of artificial detail around boundaries and transitions. High frequency loss shows up as blurring or a loss of fine detail. Whatever the precise symptoms, the visual impact of artifacts is directly related to the level of compression that's applied. It's essential that end users are satisfied that any compression artifacts won't prevent them from observing the pictures accurately, whether they are viewed live or from recordings. In some cases, too much compression can make an observer's job more difficult or even impossible. For instance, look at this scene closely and try and establish whether one of these people should be regarded as a threat. If we observe the same scene without compression, there's much less chance that a threat will be misidentified. High levels of compression can also make it very difficult to identify an individual accurately. For instance, which of the two compressed images, centre and right, do you think shows the person who's featured in the uncompressed image on the left? But now look at the same images with low compression. Accurate identification is much more likely. As we've seen, image compression is a fundamental part of any digital imaging chain. This means that it's imperative that an operational requirement is constructed in such a way that the expected image quality is both defined and validated. You need to ask two questions. Is the level of compression that's being applied to the pictures rendering them unusable? And have we tested to ensure that both the live and recorded pictures have retained the necessary detail to achieve the operational requirement?